Hello, Reds fans. Welcome to the YNWA Transfer News Channel. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for your daily latest news.
Darwin Nunez twist could have major impact on Alexander Isak transfer to Liverpool. Newcastle's owners could end up indirectly helping Liverpool to sign Alexander Isak. That's because Al Hilal, the club that is interested in signing Darwin Nunez from the Reds, is majoritively owned by Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund, the same group that majoritively owns Newcastle. Nunez could leave Liverpool before the transfer window closes after 3 underwhelming seasons on Merseyside, and after Napoli dropped its interest several weeks ago due to Nunez's price tag. There are not many top-level European options remaining for the Uruguayan. The riches on offer in Saudi Arabia could appeal to Nunez, and it is reported by The Athletic that Al Hilal has made the 26-year-old its top striking target after seeing Victor Osimhen move to Galatasaray. Other targets like Benjamin Sesko and Alexander Isak are viewed as less attainable than Nunez, which is why the Saudi Pro League club is now firmly focused on Liverpool's number 9. If Al Hilal, funded by the PIF, signs Nunez for the Reds' reported $81 million asking price, that could be the difference between Liverpool signing Isak and Liverpool not signing Isak. Meanwhile, Isak is expected to return to Newcastle's training ground today, Monday, after ruling himself out of the preseason tour of Asia. Isak did not travel across the world with his teammates, with the official reason being that he was carrying a slight injury, but it soon emerged what the real reason for his absence was. Isak remains keen to leave Newcastle, and he could yet get his wish, despite Liverpool seeing a $146 million bid for the player swiftly rejected last week. Despite being set to return to Newcastle's training ground, Isak has been warned by Magpies manager Eddie Howe that he won't be reintegrated before proving that he is ready to give his all for his current club. "You have to earn the right to train with us," Howe said. "We are Newcastle United. The player has a responsibility here to be part of a team and part of a squad. You have to act in the right way. So that is also at play here. We will make sure that any player does that to earn the right to train with the group. No player can expect to act poorly and train with the group as normal." Liverpool transfer news live. Alexander Isak bid, Rodrygo agrees terms, Tyler Morton to Lyon. Speculation continues over the future of Alexander Isak, but as things stand, he will be heading into the new season as a Newcastle player. The striker has made his way back to the northeast as the Magpies return from their tour of Asia, with Liverpool not planning on making a new bid for the time being after having an initial offer turned down on Friday. Whether the Reds will return with a new bid later this month though remains to be seen, and they might be encouraged to do so as Newcastle continues its pursuit of RB Leipzig's Benjamin Sesko. We'll keep you up to date on both sagas, and what they could mean for Liverpool's hopes of landing its dream signing this summer, as well as all the other transfer news and rumors. Rodrygo once again finds himself being linked with a move to Anfield as an exit from Real Madrid looks to be possible this summer. Talks are already said to have taken place with the Brazilian as he weighs up his next options. Meanwhile, Tyler Morton looks set to be on the move, the midfielder on the verge of joining Lyon after a $20 million deal was agreed on Saturday. Al Hilal identifies Nunez as top target. Al Hilal has identified Darwin Nunez as a top target to strengthen its attack, according to The Athletic. It is claimed that Al Nassr has stepped up its pursuit of the Uruguayan after seeing Victor Osimhen move to Galatasaray. Other targets like Benjamin Sesko and Alexander Isak are viewed as less attainable than Nunez, which is why the Saudi Pro League club is now firmly focused on Liverpool's number 9. How Chiesa future could affect Everton. The future of Federico Chiesa could have a knock-on effect on Everton in the transfer window. That's because Napoli is reportedly interested in signing either Chiesa or Jack Grealish to bolster the left-wing position in the squad before the summer window closes. Chiesa's Liverpool future looks increasingly uncertain after a debut season in which he started just once in the Premier League and once in the Champions League. Napoli is among several clubs in Serie A that have been linked with a move for Chiesa, but Manchester City star Grealish is also reportedly on the Serie A champions' radar. If Napoli ends up signing Grealish instead of Chiesa, that would put a spanner in the works for Everton, because the Toffees are also keen on a deal to sign Grealish. Grealish fell out of favor at City last season, lining up just 7 times in the Premier League, with his most recent top-flight start coming in December. If he moves to Napoli, the Toffees would have to look elsewhere for a new left winger, but it remains to be seen whether Grealish is interested in leaving England ahead of a season in which he will hope to nail down a spot in the Three Lions squad for next summer's Club World Cup. Luis Diaz has completed a permanent transfer to Bayern Munich after 3.5 years with Liverpool. The Colombian departs the Reds, having played a significant role in the lifting of 4 major trophies since arriving from FC Porto in early 2022, highlighted by Premier League title glory last term. Diaz made an instant impact after being signed by Jurgen Klopp, with his pace, trickery and output from various attacking positions on show from his first appearances in the Liverpool shirt. It was an eventful opening half-season for him at the club, Lucho scoring 6 goals and delivering 4 assists in 26 appearances before the end of 2021-22. He aided the Reds' push for a remarkable quadruple, starting both Wembley finals as the Carabao Cup and Emirates FA Cup were won each via a penalty shootout versus Chelsea. Diaz was also in the team as Klopp's side, who finished runners-up in the Premier League, were beaten by Real Madrid in the Champions League final in Paris. A serious knee injury sustained in the early phases of the next campaign prevented Diaz from immediately building on his electric start at Anfield, limiting him to only 21 games across 2022-23. That summer, he swapped number to become Liverpool's newest number 7, and he steadily began to reproduce his finest form. Over the next 2 seasons, Diaz represented the Reds 101 times, scored 30 goals and gave 10 assists. Another League Cup success at Wembley marked 2023-24, before Klopp vacated the dugout, and was replaced by Arn Slot as the club's new head coach. Diaz had predominantly been deployed in wide roles for the Reds to date, but Slot increasingly used him as the central attacker of a front 3 during the past campaign. It worked a treat, with Diaz enjoying his most prolific single season with Liverpool and helping to lead the team to a Premier League title triumph, one secured with 4 matches left to play. 13 of his 17 strikes overall in 2024-25 came in the top flight, including a memorable double at Old Trafford as Slot's side laid a marker down at the outset of the campaign. Among other personal highlights of his final season at Liverpool was a second-half hat-trick in a 4-0 Champions League rout of Bayer Leverkusen at Anfield. The last hurrah of his Reds career will remain the jubilant scenes he was part of in April and May as the championship was mathematically clinched and subsequently celebrated with supporters. Diaz now embarks on another chapter in his career with the completion of a permanent transfer to the Bundesliga with Bayern. Everybody at Liverpool FC thanks Luis for all of his contributions during his time at the club and wishes him the best for the future. Liverpool transfer news: Alexander Isak, Rodrygo, Jean-Philippe Mateta and more. Liverpool are bracing for a busy summer to build on the season's Premier League title success. Arn Slot orchestrated a stunning debut campaign at Anfield, inheriting a stacked squad from Jurgen Klopp before taking English football by storm to seal a record-equaling 20th top-flight crown for the club. Mohamed Salah was the poster boy of Slot's title winners, with an eye-watering 46 goal contributions in 37 games, taking the Reds out of reach at the top of the table. However, it was in midfield where Liverpool surprised most, with Slot refining a midfield trio brought in by his predecessor and making each one of them an invaluable entity. His transformation of Ryan Gravenberch from a promising yet raw talent to a world-class defensive midfielder was most astounding. The summer months of 2024 hardly shaped the season that followed for Liverpool, and Slot has already proven that he doesn't require overwhelming transfer activity to be successful. Last summer, he saw just 2 arrivals come through the door in the form of Georgi Mamardashvili, who was immediately loaned back to Valencia, and Federico Chiesa, who played a total of just 104 minutes in the Premier League. But with Trent Alexander-Arnold heading for the exit and a Premier League title to defend, Richard Hughes and Michael Edwards are expected to engage in a substantial recruitment drive over the coming months. And the signs are extremely promising for Reds fans, with Jeremy Frimpong having signed from Bayer Leverkusen before Florian Wirtz, Milos Kerkez and Hugo Ekitike followed through the door. Arrivals and areas to improve. As tends to happen with champions, Liverpool are position for position the strongest team in the Premier League. But that is not to say they don't have room for improvement. In goal, the Reds have added Georgi Mamardashvili to create probably the best starting and backup goalkeeping duo in the league. Their first priority would have been to address weaknesses or vacancies in the full-back roles. Right-back and local lad Alexander-Arnold joined Real Madrid following the expiry of his contract, though it looks like Liverpool have already found their replacement in the form of Frimpong. At left-back, Scottish stalwart Andy Robertson has looked shaky and could be set for a drop down the pecking order, while deputy Kostas Tsimikas could also be on the chopping block. A younger, Premier League proven replacement has arrived in the form of Milos Kerkez, who joined in a deal worth £40 million from Bournemouth and arrives to solve the issues at left-back. Further depth in midfield and defence could be required if Slot is to successfully defend his title, and while Mark Gahey has been linked to a move to the Champions, links to midfielders have been rare so far throughout the window. The futures of Darwin Nunez, Federico Chiesa, Harvey Elliott and more recently Luis Diaz have been up in the air, which could lead to Liverpool investing in more forward-thinking options this summer. Alexander Isak is said to be the dream striker signing at Anfield after Ekitike completed his arrival. Alexander Isak, Newcastle. With much of the rest of the squad seemingly in top shape ahead of 2025/26, Liverpool continue to be linked with one man. Alexander Isak has been touted as the club's dream target, and while a move initially looked unlikely, the Swede has now expressed his desire to move away from Newcastle. Liverpool are about to sanction the £65 million sale of Luis Diaz to help fund a monster bid for the striker, expected imminently. Isak has transformed into one of the best strikers in world football in recent months, and his signature would certainly make Liverpool favourites for back-to-back league titles, and probably a European Cup to add to it. Jean-Philippe Mateta, Crystal Palace. Liverpool have been linked with a move for Palace striker Jean-Philippe Mateta in recent days, with French media reporting that the Reds have met with the player's reps in Paris. The Frenchman has impressed for the Eagles in recent months, and could be a smart addition with the London club having set his using price around £35 million, though it is assumed that he would not be targeted as a starting striker ahead of the Reds' impending title defence. Mark Gahey, Crystal Palace. With Jarell Quansah on his way out, Virgil van Dijk aging and Ibrahima Konate entering the final year of his contract, Liverpool appear willing to splash the cash on a proven Premier League centre-back for the future in Crystal Palace's Mark Gahey. The England international has stamped his mark as one of the best in the division in recent seasons, and despite being continually linked with a switch to Chelsea and Tottenham over the past year or two, it now appears that a move up north is increasingly likely. That said, Liverpool will reportedly only intensify their pursuits if Palace budge on their £70 million asking price. Rodrygo, Real Madrid. On the wing, Liverpool could look to provide further reinforcements in the form of Real Madrid star Rodrygo. The Brazil international appears to be heading for the Santiago Bernabéu exit door this summer after being used sparingly at the Club World Cup. Premier League rivals Arsenal are also said to be interested. Thanks for watching. Like and comment. Subscribe.